Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. I'm Black Dragon, and welcome to another edition of Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker news you can trust. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. Check it out, man. If you are a practitioner of the Sikh religion, you may have some good news out there in California. Now, listen, there's no greater joy. There's no greater American practice, or being an American. There's no greater, oh my goodness, privilege, honor, or liberty, or even right. No greater one than to be able to practice your chosen religion. And if your chosen religion has to do with wearing your turban, and all of a sudden, or they say you can't ride it since about 19, I think it was like 95, maybe 93 in California, where they said you must wear helmets when you ride a motorcycle. Well, if you are a Sikh practicing the Sikh religion, maybe that might not be the case anymore. We go to foxktvu.com to get their information on this subject.
Faith may no longer have to wear helmets while riding motorcycles in California under a bill making its way through the state legislature. The bill, SB 847, passed in the Senate today. It exempts the religious group from wearing helmets as long as the rider is wearing a turban or has a patka. The bill is opposed by the County Health Executives Association of California due to safety issues. This bill now moves to the Assembly.
Wow. So that's really...
This is a DD-214.
That's really kind of cool that you might not like that Senate bill is moving, or whatever the case may be, SB whatever number it was, that you might not, if you are a Sikh, have to do that anymore. But being an American. And Sikhs that are in America that are Americans too. So to being a person that's not particularly knowledgeable about the Sikh religion, I've always wondered, why do they wear those things? What the hell does it mean? And so I went to this place called this website called 11 Things You Wanted to Know About My Turban, but were too afraid to ask. Yeah. Just so I could find out a little bit about the turban. And this is called the Mashup Americans, mashupamericans.com. And I don't know who they are or what they are, but this guy is speaking about his turban. So one of the first questions was, is it hot under there? And, we look at this thing that looks like a piece of cloth used to make a turban. So turbans are a source of mystery and all too often terrible misunderstanding of those who don't wear them. What do they mean? Where do they wear them? Where do you have to do everything in a turban? Well, we're never shy about asking questions at Mashup HQ. And it turns out when you ask with genuine curiosity and love, people are happy to answer. So we're talking to Mr. Rupinder Singh, founder of American Turban, social justice fellow at the Sikh Coalition, and owner of more than 20 turbans. Ever wanted to know how long it takes to tie a turban and all that kind of stuff, read on. But we're going to get down here and find out a little bit about the turban that Sikhs wear, for those of you who wanted to know. And he starts off down here. As a follower of the Sikh faith, I am by design recognized by my turban and my uncut hair. Sikhism is a religion of about 25 million people around the world. It's the 5th largest world religion by population. Most of the religious followers are in India, but there are about 500,000 Sikhs in the United States. That's a lot of turbans. And the simple item is the subject of this simple item is the subject of a lot of unnecessary misunderstandings. So here are answers to 10 questions I just know you want to ask about my turban, but we're too afraid to ask. I want to know, one, why do you wear a turban? And he says, while the turban is common and fashionable item of clothing for many, there are like a lot of people that wear turbans that don't wear them for religious, like because maybe they look cool or something. He says, for Sikhs, it represents our faith. When the Sikh faith was developing from the 15th to the 18th century in South Asia, the turban was only worn by the higher classes and the elites of society. However, a core teaching of the Sikh faith teaches us that all people are equal. Yeah, all people are equal. Yeah. And there are no higher or lower folks among us. So, as such, it was mandated that all Sikhs initiated into the faith covered our heads with turbans, thereby signifying the equal status among the faith's followers. You know, kind of like the star-bellied sneetches. You know, the star-bellied sneetches, where the ones that really thought they were so great had a star in their belly, so everybody went and got a star to kind of equal the playing field. So, yeah, it was something that everybody wore back then that was high class and almighty, and they said, well, we can just level the playing field here by everybody putting a star on their belly or a turban on their heads. I'm with that, man. Another identifying article of faith for Sikhs is maintaining uncut hair by both men and women. Sikhs are not to cut their hair from any part of our bodies, which is why as a Sikh man, I have a long beard and long hair. This is an expression of our acceptance of God's will. Yeah, I guess God willed us to have hair and to be accepting of that will. Maybe you don't cut it. So my turban becomes the covering for my long hair that I keep in a bun at the top of my head. He says, you see, we were way ahead of the hipster crave with the man bun. They've had their man bun for a while. And he shows this picture of him. I believe this is him standing with his man bun. That's the author right there, sporting his pink turban. Now, do women wear turbans too? Among Sikhs, the turban has traditionally been worn by men, he says. But while women cover their head with a long scarf called a chuni or a dupatta. However, many Sikh women have adopted the turban as their head covering as well. So now I guess you could see men and women in them. 3, but I have a friend who's a Sikh that doesn't wear a turban. Why not? And, you know, this one is easy. As all religions, they have some that practice, real heavy and some that don't. They have, those that are just like absolutely down with every part of the faith, and others that are legitimately Sikhs that don't follow every single solitary thing. So, hey, we have that in every religion. So that's why you'll know some Sikhs that may or may not be wearing their turbans. Interesting, huh? Do the colors of turbans mean anything? There aren't any religious meanings associated with a given turban color. A person can wear any color of turban they like, and even prints. Some colors like orange, blue, and white are traditionally worn during religious celebrations, and red is traditionally worn during Sikh weddings. But he's got more than 20, and he wakes up every morning to figure out what color he's going to wear with whatever suit he's going to wear. Does it go on like a hat is the 5th question. The turban isn't a hat per se, and we don't wear it like a hat. They're tied on. He references tying on a silk. When you tie your silk, it's kind of like when you don your hat. When you tie your turban, you put it on that way. He says, I tend to wear shorter, narrower lengths of fabric, which I retie. Oh, he says, typically the turban could be up to 6 yards long. It's made out of cotton, and your mileage may vary for how long you can wear them. And he says he typically reties his every day. To put it on, I fold the cloth several times, a process called making the puni. Sounds kind of like making the punani, but We won't go there. Making the puni, they called it, into a single layer that I then wrap concentrically around my head in 4 layers or a lar. But most often, Sikhs wrap turbans around 5 or more times. It takes me a precious 5 or so minutes to tie up my turban. Precious because I usually run late to wherever I'm going. Yeah, if you're trying to get your turban tied. I wonder if they have pre-tied turbans. That's not here in the question. But anyway, 6. How many kinds of turbans are there? There are several different kinds of styles of turbans that people wear. And within each style, there's a lot of leeway according to the person's preferences. For instance, a dumala is a larger, rounder turban. There is the smaller turban tied by some. You see what I mean? Tied by. That's how they reference putting them on. Did you tie your turban today? So tied by some Sikh men. There's a smaller round one. Sikh women who tie turbans tend to wear round ones as well. A parna is a smaller round turban, often tied using a thicker printed checkered cloth. He said he tends to tie what's most commonly referred to as a pograi or a pog, which is more angular in shape, like this one or this one. Within this style, there are regional differences. British Sikhs and African Sikhs tend to wear smaller, sharper turbans using starched cloth. Compared to North American Sikhs, whose turbans are generally softer, Indian Sikhs will often tie larger turbans. Apparently, as with most things, size matters. Where do you get your turbans? I typically get my turbans from a South Asian fabric shops, online turban retailers, or at Sikh festivals. They cost can vary, ranging anywhere from $3 to $10 a yard, depending on depending on where I buy them from, the type of cotton blend, and any print or design. As for care, many people will hand wash their turbans, though I put mine in the washing machine, set on the delicate cycle, and then I hang it to dry. Were you born with a turban on? Do people actually ask that? He says no, and my mom couldn't be happier about that. When I was a kid my hair got long enough, my mother would tie on me until I could tie my own, what is known as a patka, basically a rectangular cloth tied around my head like a bandana. That covered my bun of hair. Most boys will wear a patka until they learn how to tie the full turban, and many will instead have a handkerchief just covering their hair, bun, or on top of their heads. That's what the young guys, the kids do. Young boys will wear a patka or a handkerchief since they're easy to tie and can stand up to some roughhousing. Sikh men will also often wear a patka when playing sports. There's actually a ceremony in which we celebrate when a child ties their first full turban. We call the ceremony Dastar Bandi, meaning turban tying, coincidentally enough. It's often characterized as the coming of age ceremony, but it's not a hard and fast rule. I had my ceremony when I was maybe 4 years old. I was an overachiever back then, but I didn't start tying my full turban until I reached school age 12 years later. And do you wear it in the sleep or shower? Flowing water can be fatal to a tied turban, he says. No, I don't. Sikhs are supposed to keep their heads covered when in public. And so that, I think, is the key here. And this is the first time in this article that this was revealed, that their religion requires them to keep their heads covered when in public. So by removing that, it kind of removes, it kind of infringes upon their religion. So because Sikhs are supposed to keep their heads covered in public, but I don't wear mine when I sleep and not in the shower, especially since it's not waterproof. Actually, flowing water can be fatal to a tied turban. We can be rather hydrophobic when it rains. Like a lot of my sisters out there, black women do not like rain on their hairdos. He said, I will say, however, that my turban does make a convenient pillow during air travel. And finally, can I touch your turban? He said, well, I'm glad you asked. I don't know, can you? He says, since it's a bit of a sensitive topic for him. Like many Sikh children, I was bullied quite a bit in school, and my patka, which we now know could have been just a handkerchief, but it was the target of many harassers. Bullies would try to pull it off or just try to mess with me. This was obviously very humiliating to me as a boy, given the sacred nature of our turbans. Yeah, they're religious symbols. As an adult, I still get asked this from time to time because the turban is a religious article of faith. It's held in sacred esteem by Sikhs. It's offensive if our turbans are touched or handled without our permission, especially when we're wearing them. But if the person asking is respectful and genuine, then I'll let someone touch it so they can get a sense of it. Play your cards right, and I can even tie one on you. Don't worry, it doesn't mean we have to get engaged or anything. They won't be swapping spit in the shower just because he tied a turban on you. I'd like to have one tied on me. I mean, just to see what it would feel like. I think it'd be kind of cool. I would ask, do you have to have a certain amount of hair? Does your hair hold it on too, or do you tie it in your hair or something? But that's the things you might want to know. And he said, oh yeah, the heat thing. You would think that tying layers of cloth on your head would be uncomfortable on a hot day, but actually the turban is a common article of clothing in a hot climate. It protects the wearer from exposure to the sun's rays, just like a hat. So while it can feel hot wearing a turban, it's because it is hot when it's hot outside. So hey, man, that's everything you might want to know about wearing a turban and why it would be important for Sikhs to be able to finally get this helmet law changed in California, which I was there when it was created. And I remember losing the sense of being, I think it was like maybe 93, 94, 95, 92, somewhere around there, that they came up with this crazy ass rule that you had to wear a helmet everywhere you went. And some people, thought that was, the greatest thing since sliced cornbread. And other people, were like hating it. Like, this is really a hell of a lot going on here that we all have to wear turbans or helmets. But now it seems like the Sikhs may not have to wear one. They're getting closer and closer to not having to wear one, depending on how the Senate bill and the General Assembly takes it. And, California is one of those places that does really kind of take everybody's feelings into consideration for the good or the bad or whatever. So, and then they say where California goes, California kind of leads, California and New York, where they go, so does the nation. So, hey, maybe they'll be able to fly everywhere they are with their turbans, vices helmets. Now, they do make these helmets that look like hats like this, but are actually hard, like helmets. I wonder if they could make some turban ones. That might be interesting. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. A little bit of good news out there for once, something positive, Listen, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow Black Dragon Biker TV. This is where you get your news, learn motorcycle club protocol, and have a great time. Support the channel, folks. We could use you. $Biker Prez, Prez. $Biker Prez, if you're going to hit us up on Cash App. We absolutely appreciate it. My mom used to say you could recognize the truth because when you hear it, the truth has a ring of familiarity to it. So we like for you to be hearing the ring, ring, ring whenever we're talking. Make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Black Dragon Biker TV can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Order my books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant at Arms Bible, President's Bible, Public Relations Officer's Bible, all available on Amazon, Kindle, or at blackdragonsgear.com. Join our daily podcast, The Dragon's Lair, LAIR, Motorcycle Chaos, wherever you get your podcasts like Spotify, iHeartRadio, or iTunes. We also have a Discord server. Join us on our Discord link. It's in the description box below. You can get to our Discord server and hang out with us. If you need to contact me, my email address is blackdragon@blacksabbathmc.com, or you can call me here in the studio, 404-692-0336. I'm Black Dragon. That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. still at 338, bouncing between 338 and 336. You can follow me on Twitter. JBunchII stands for John Bunch II. You can follow me on Fitbit. Yep, we can talk on Fitbit and track each other's steps at JBunchII stands for John Bunch II. And you can follow me on MyFitnessPal. JBunchII stands for John Bunch II. Thanks for tuning in. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospect's Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.